Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I always liked straight people coming and telling you straight in your face, I don't like you, and if you do this, I'm gonna smack you. Well, at least we know from the get-go we don't waste time. We know where we stand. I always like that. Instead of you save time by doing that. Okay, man, I don't mess with you. You don't mess with me. We know we're gonna have this if we do. Great. I like when thugs come and tell you, you know what, I'm a thug and I'm gonna fuck you up. Instead of saying a thug, "Oh, I'm not a thug. I'm almost close to Jesus Christ value. I'm a person that you should admire, follow, role model, and so on. And my actions show you, everybody else, that I'm a thug. But you have to admire me. Otherwise, I'm gonna pull a thuggish thing on you." So in this case, we have one Bundeswehr general, that is a German military general, an ugly motherfucker that I covered before, and he comes and tells us straight, finally, what it's all about. Is those guys fighting against that guy with us. It's between them. They have a problem over there, way above our heads, but they use us, and the consequences will be negative for us. Negative. Very bad. And for our children and grandchildren, because this is going to go how do you call it, without end, endlessly. Let's show this beautiful article coming from Ukrainska Pravda. Bundeswehr general. War will end when Ukraine will win. Wins it. You got it? And this Miss Germany, not Mr. Germany, Miss Germany tells us that. This guy. Jesus Christ, man. Now, you're a military, you don't go for a beauty contest, but anyway, here it is. So, war will end when Ukraine wins it. What would be the outcome? Have you envisioned how the end of the war when Ukraine wins it will look like? Okay, let me give you my assessment, my vision of this war when that ends. German Major General Christian Freud, Freiland, Freuding, Fraudin, head of the Bundeswehr's Situation Center Ukraine, believes, that's exactly what you got, believes, not assessments of thoughts. The Ukrainian military can end the war by defending Russia on the battlefield, but a lack of ammunition remains a major source of concern for the West. So it's going to be a perpetual war. They fight Russia, not us, not Germany fights Russia. The guys in charge of Germany use Germany to fight Russia. It's way above us. You understand? When you understand that, they try to put us together. It's always going to be a war. We are not at war. They want to make it that way. And you have the weak segment of the population, which is the majority. They're going to say, yes, defend us, mommy and daddy. Why? Because we are weasels. We are one of the reasons why people are cowards is because they don't know what can be done and what cannot be done, and their personal weakness in direct experience with life. You see, you're in school and you see who's smart and who's dumb and where you situate yourself. So then you become, you gain self-confidence, or you don't gain self-confidence if you have something in your head. Now, if you're an ignorant, you're a retard, then obviously you're going to say, well, I'm good, man. I was the last one in the class, man, but I'm as good as the best one, the first one. And if the guys in the media and in school tell you you're as good as this guy, you were just, the guy was a little bit, had some privilege. That's why. That's all. You're just disadvantaged. That's why you are the last in class and you're not the best of. Anyway, so not knowing how things are, a lot of people are afraid of the woods in the night because they imagine things. Maybe they've never been in a woods ever, but they watch movies. But they don't know the reality. Everything you see in the daytime in the woods, you probably see in the nighttime. Maybe a little bit of little animals. That's all. That are nocturnal. That's it. So it's not going to be all kind of monsters coming after you, or a guy with a chainsaw chasing you in the middle of the woods, or who knows who Satan shows up and offers you 1,000 women or something. Anybody? So let's go back to this article here. So, and we are confident in the value of our support and in the unity of Ukrainian partners who are willing to preserve in order to achieve the desired outcome. Your desired outcome, not ours, but they make it like they work for us. Their interests are similar with ours. We have common interests right here. No. It will end when Ukraine wins the war. Let's see what does that mean. All right, well, let me tell you, this guy also believes that Ukraine requires mobilization to compensate for the battlefield losses and replenish combat units. Correct. More blood to die for their interest. No, to defend their nation and existential threat the Russians are. Okay, this is how the story goes. This thing should not have even started. Shouldn't have. Now let me tell you what these guys mean by Ukraine winning the war. And you tell me when the Russians are going to be exposed, if they're not already, with this, I would say 98% scenario, 98% of happening scenario is this. Ukraine will not be able to, Ukraine, let's say, somehow pushes the Russian forces to the border back. The Russians forget they have nuclear weapons and they say, you know what, we lost. We're not going to mobilize about 30 million potential male population to fight you. Okay, so we're going to say we lost. That's one idiotic possibility. The other one is the situation in Russia, economic situation goes so bad, deteriorates not gradually, like plunges like this, and the Russians somehow get out of their houses and go and get Putin and his buddies and they hang them. That's the preferred for these guys, the preferred scenario for these guys. And the Russian military does the same thing and offer the good people, which is the Americans and all these guys, Russia on the silver plate. Now, when they achieve this, what will they do? First, political system will be 100% controlled by United States of America and the guys behind. The economy will also be controlled by this. That means the investments in Russia will be of a certain kind and they will take control over the resources 100% over the Russians. That's all what it is. Nuclear weapons, that is strength, and the other one is resources, oil, gas, coal, whatever else they have over there. Right? That's what it is. And then they have a big market, consuming market, and you can use them as work like Hitler wanted you guys to work. Remember? Okay, that's how they envision it. And in the meantime, when the Russians think, okay, that's good, man, investments, they're going to use our resources, we're going to have work to do and so on. Nah. You will not have nuclear weapons out. We're going to control them. We're going to take them out from your thing. We're going to control the military. And more than that, you have to pay reparations to us with interest, which is going to be having you as a servant/slave forever. You, Russian, and your son and your daughter and grandson, granddaughter, and so on. That's what's going to happen. This is a win for Ukraine. Now tell this to the Russians, which probably they were already told. This is what awaits you if you lose this war. This is how you, unless you think that Putin will say, you know what, guys, I lost. I'm not going to use anything else. I'm not going to use my potential. You beat me. We're going to come back. We're going to pull back the forces. You are going to move in with your military. Are you going to massacre the population left over there that collaborated with us? That's what happens. Read history, unless you think the Ukrainians are saints or the Americans. Okay, that's what they do. Unless they move back. That means ethnic cleansing. They move with the forces, with the Russians. After they do that, Russia agrees to everything I said so far. Your military, you have it. The resources, you have it. Political system, I got to go somehow. When I die, you do what I said you will do. And the payment, you're going to have, I don't know how many trillions of dollars. We have to pay you reparations for the unprovoked attack. So this is the scenario. Now tell the Russians this, and tell them that their daughters and their sons will have a worse standard of living and they will work for those guys over there. What don't you think they will do? Oh, I like that, I think. Yeah, I hope we lose. And you have nuclear weapons. It's like you fight with 30 people, fist fight, okay, bum, 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 and they overwhelm you. But you have here in the holster, I don't know, in holsters, let's say 2 revolvers. And they're about to strangle you. And you say, I'm not going to pull them. No. Back the fuck off. Click. That's what you would do, unless you're a retard, and then you deserve whatever these guys are going to give you. So this is a win for Ukraine. And remember, win for Ukraine is not a win for Ukraine. It's a win for those guys that are in charge, because Ukraine is not going to be independent. On the paper, it's going to be independent. But it's going to happen the same thing as happened to the Russians, minus reparations. But they have loans to pay. They have loans. The public debt in Ukraine skyrocketed. They have to pay. So basically, they are caught by the banks. And they will have to pay for the reconstruction. Who's going to reconstruct it? Certain companies that will be vetted by whom? By the owners. Why do you think only a few military companies are allowed to send their weapons in Ukraine, and not everybody else? Why do you think so? Whenever it was the Americans first, and after they did it, then they allowed the Germans a little bit the French. They reconstruct the military of all those countries because they're the best, right? Who's got the media, has got the megaphone, therefore people, yeah man, they're the best. Give me the Bud Light. Blah, blah, blah. How are you today? All right, here it is, my friends. This is a victory for Ukraine. It's not for Ukraine, it's for these elites that want to destroy that, take over, loot that country that doesn't like to be looted and raped by these guys, supposedly in our benefit. No, I don't buy that. You can if you want, therefore go and vote, because vote is important. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Should be. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.